it's finally here. So what's your favorite scary movie? What's up, everybody? Scream 2022, Scream 5, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it Scream 5. Was directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, the same guys that brought us Ready or Not, which is another movie that I liked from them, and stars Neve Campbell, Courteney Cox, David Arquette, Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, and Jack Quaid. It has been 25 years since the original series of murders took place in Woodsboro. After a new Ghostface emerges to unleash hell once more, Sidney Prescott returns to uncover the mystery. Welcome back, guys, to my Scream film series review. We are finally at the peak. We are finally at the new Scream movie. We've arrived. If you haven't checked it out yet, I've done reviews for all of the previous 4 Scream movies, so if you haven't checked those out yet, please do so. I'll have the links down below. I've always put this series on top for reasons which you can check out on the other reviews, because I pretty much beat the dead horse on that. I'll just end it by saying I've always had a special place in my heart for this series. So when news struck about a new Scream movie, I was a little worried, because we all know Wes Craven has passed away in 2015. And this one has actually got brought up like right before everything went batcrap crazy with the world. So I was a little worried. Again, I was a little worried. But then I found out who they hired to direct it. Which, again, these are the same guys that did Ready or Not, which is another favorite movie of mine that they have come out with. And I really enjoyed. So I had a little bit of a glimmer of a hope. But did Scream 5, actually live up to the hype? Let's find out and delve into the positives of Scream 5. As everybody knows, this series has always been one for the meta references and the self-awareness of the horror genre. You know, poking at the horror tropes. The movie just did it for me. I mean, it once again did it for me. Now I was a little worried because I knew that Kevin Williamson wasn't coming back to write this. Kevin Williamson did not write this. So that was a little bit of a red flag, because after the disaster that was Scream 3, had its moments. But Williamson didn't have his hand in that one either, and we all know how that turned out. But actually, the way that they laid this story out, laid the script out and the writing, actually didn't disappoint. At a certain point, you would have thought that Kevin Williamson did have something to do with the writing in this, but he didn't. I believe he only produced. He still had his hand in it. He only produced this one, but they actually did it right. They actually did it right by him, per se. With the requel route, because that's the way of Hollywood. That's how Hollywood has gotten now. Like, for example, the Halloween 2018, Candyman 2021, they actually go there. It's just very on the nose. You know, they talk about sequels and how the requels kind of recreate it, but at the same time being a direct sequel. Yeah, they still go there. It's very self-aware. It's very on the nose. They even have a character that maps it all out, just like the Randy character in the original. Only this time they're talking about the requel plot of it all. And like with all the others, you have to have those movie buffs that explains it all, that maps it all out. Kind of like Randy, and kind of like the 2 movie buffs that was in the last movie. And unlike Halloween 2018 and Candyman 2021, which only focused on the originals of those, and they canceled out all the sequels for those franchises, with Scream 5, they actually acted and acknowledged that this was a direct follow-up from 4. There was a couple of lines that actually acknowledged that actually reconfirms that. I really did appreciate that. Not that I'm dissing Candyman 2021 or Halloween 2018. Don't get me wrong, I still appreciated those movies, Halloween more so. But still, I appreciate the fact that they treated Scream as a direct sequel to 4. That way, they didn't really toss out any of the Wes Craven masterpiece films. Of course, you got the legacy characters coming back. Neve Campbell, Courteney Cox, and David Arquette. They're all back, and it was fun seeing them. Yeah, I think when you go see a Scream movie, you think of those characters because those are the OGs. Those are the real deals. I have a little bit of an issue with that, which I'll get into later, but it was still nice seeing them in action. And you got a character named Sam Carpenter. Her last name is Carpenter. I wonder where they got that from. Played by Melissa Barrera. I can't say much, but it does heavily involve her. And she really stands out. So does Jenna Ortega. Those two really stand out as characters. We get a really fantastic opening. And something really different. Again, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. This is one movie that's actually going to be kind of hard, even though I'm halfway through it right now. But it's just one of those that I really need to choose my words very carefully because it's one of those that just, you can't say that much about it because otherwise I will get flooded with hate comments. Yeah. But these movies is always known for their iconic openings. But I like what they did for this one. I just like what they did in it. It was something different, but that's all I'll say. And the killer's voice was Aces. Of course, Roger L. Jackson comes back. And I think they did something a little different with his voice. At first, I didn't really acknowledge that was him, but then later on, he pulls a fast one here like he's known to do whenever he calls up somebody before he kills somebody. But they pull a fast one there. After the first few dialogues, when he starts talking to Jenna Ortega's character, you realize, okay, yeah, that's him. You in trouble now, girl. Still very intimidating. I'm glad they got him back. And the vision wasn't all that bad. As I stated before, I was a little nervous. This is the first Scream movie that is absent of Wes Craven. Because, like I said, we all know that he passed away. But the guys that they got to hire to take his place was the same guys that did Ready or Not. That was a favorite of mine, so that kind of gave me a glimmer of hope. And watching Scream, they never felt like that they were trying to outshine Wes Craven. It didn't feel like that they were trying to do better. It was their own vision, but it still felt like Wes Craven was still there in spirit, like guiding them. They didn't disrespect him at all. I think he'd be proud. As much as I enjoyed the film, as much as I appreciate what they brought to the table, I still had issues. It's not a perfect film. So let's get into the mix. And as I stated before, the legacy characters was there. But it felt like that they were just kind of wedged in there. Like I said, I'm never going to feel resentment. I'm never going to get tired of these characters, of Dewey, Gail, and Sid. But for this one, it just felt like they were kind of wedged in. Especially Sidney. She definitely does take a back seat. That's all I'll say on that front. But I will say this. Dewey does have a lot more to do than any of the other films. And I think they kind of amped his character up. He was always willing to help. They just gave him more to do. And I've heard from other reviewers that he was always kind of the weakling, the weakest of the other four films. I've never really had a problem with him per se myself. But I really do think that they really upped his character about 10 times in this. That was just something new, and it was just nice to see. And the blood and gore hype, all I ever heard was, it's the goriest Scream out there. Not really. I appreciate what they brought. I appreciate the level that they actually did splatter on screen. But I really didn't see the hype about it. I really didn't see the overall excitement. It wasn't really nothing new. To this day, I still think 4 actually holds that crown. I really do believe that 4 was the goriest one out there. But everybody's saying that this Scream movie is the goriest. Not really. There's not really much creative ways to stab a person. That's all Ghostface is. Which, I'm not downing him. I love Ghostface. But how much more creative kills can you do with a stab? It's not like Freddy. It's not like Jason. It's not like Michael Myers. Ghostface just uses a regular knife. But again, I appreciate what they brought to the table in this. Scream 5 is still a fun murder mystery ride with plenty of twists and turns. If you're a Scream fan, you'll definitely love this. I mean, without a doubt. Despite the mixed, which if you notice I didn't get no negatives, I really did like this movie. It's still a fun ride. So if you're a Scream fan and are looking for a bloody good time filled with thrills, chills, mystery, and nostalgia, look no further. This definitely deserves to be on A Pedestal. So Scream 5, what was your thoughts on it? Was this the strongest in the series? Were you satisfied with what these guys brought from Wes Craven's legacy? Or was this the weakest? You prefer any of the others over this one? Leave me your comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for getting through this film series review. I will have a ranking up for you sometime next week. And thank you again so much, guys, for watching this video. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.